Welcome to episode 3 of WeBeWhisky. I'm Randy.
And I'm Sean. And we're at the Daily Mail in High River, Alberta.
So what are we talking about today, Sean?
Today, we have an interesting little subject to talk about. This is a new release from Ardbeg. So Ardbeg Distillery is an Islay distillery. So in North Scotland, it's typically very peated Scotch. This one is a committee release, and it is called Fermutation.
What's a committee release?
Committee release. So the Ardbeg Committee is a global group of like-minded individuals who are determined to keep the Ardbeg Distillery open. During the 80s and 90s, Ardbeg suffered some questionable future, and so a group of people committed to this cause formed an organization that effectively is made aware of all of the new releases that are coming from Ardbeg. They typically receive a bottle of said product, and then they get this long before it goes to general release, if it in fact goes to general release. This bottle, in fact, is probably not going to go to general release. This one in particular is a bit of a screw up, actually. And
so very limited production run.
Very
on this
limited.
One,
Yeah,
right?
so we only have 8,000 bottles worldwide for this. And very, very few countries were able to get it. Canada was very last on the list, by the way. So we were lucky to get it. If anybody has a bottle of this that they have open, that they're willing to share, and they happen to live in the general Calgary area,
absolutely,
please drop by. We would love very much to invite you onto the show, and we would love to experience this incredible Scotch.
So the underlying issue is
So yeah,
what's this bottle worth?
So this bottle actually on the shelf in Canada right now is worth, well, I bought it for $300. So, right. But we have seen it for as much as 450 euros worldwide.
Right.
So it's increased in value almost 100% in the 5-6 days that we've owned it.
So the question for our viewers out there, should we open it or not? Should Sean keep it as an investment, or should we open it?
To open or not to open?
Yeah.
That is the
Tell
question.
us in the comments down below
Let us know
what you think should happen with this.
Yeah. And if you've tried it and you're not interested in sharing it with us, at least let us know what you think of it. At least give us an idea of what it tastes like, because, I mean, it looks very delicious in the bottle.
Yeah. I believe you said there were 33, 38?
36 of these
36?
That landed in Alberta.
In Alberta?
Mm-hmm.
So
we were very lucky to get one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, if you have tried it, tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, what did you think? What were the surprises in this? Because apparently this is full of surprises. One thing that I will say about it, based on what we've read about it, the different reviews, one thing that's a little bit consistent throughout of them is that it has a bit of a menthol / minty.
A minty taste? Yeah, like say exactly what you want in a whiskey, right? It's mint.
Certainly not what I'm looking for in a Scotch, but hey.
But it's called Fermutation, and it's fermutation for a reason. There was some mess up.
So this was a problem. So during the development of this Scotch, like all Scotches, there's certain stages that the grain goes through. So it goes through kind of a drying process. It goes through a regermination process, and then it kind of goes through a smoking process, and then it goes into this washback process where heat and water and yeast are added together to begin the fermentation. Right.
So it's very, very similar to the brewing process.
Very similar,
right,
actually.
kind of at the washback. That's where things
then it kind of diverges
right?
a little bit.
Yeah.
So in this case, where it would normally go is into kettles for the first distillation, for boiling off, and then it goes up into the line arm and into another vessel. But that's the alcohol. The rest of it all just goes into...
Yeah, so there's usually two stills.
2 stills, yeah.
So I can't remember. What's the first one called? The second one is a spirit still. The first one is...
And I don't remember. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we'll look that one up and let you know.
So in any case, so this one in particular, because of the boiler problem, it couldn't go into the still, into the first still. So there it sits in the washbacks. And after a week or so, the cultivated yeast that goes into this dies. It simply can't survive in this environment, so it dies. So with this problem of the boilers it not having anywhere to go, they open the lid of the washbacks and they look inside. And what happens then is that natural yeast infuses this mixture, this water.
Because there's natural yeast in
everything,
everywhere, right?
Everywhere. So now it becomes even more beery, in a sense. After several weeks, 3 weeks, I think, they have the boilers fixed, and so now it's pushed through. So, but the question at the time was, do we scrap it? And the investment that we've made, the amount of grain and so on that's been brought.
Or do they push the experiment through?
Or do we just push it through as an experiment?
Yeah.
Which is what they chose to do.
Yeah.
13 years ago, it was in a very rough state. Today,
it's in a green bottle.
It's in a green bottle.
Yeah.
With a minty taste. Maybe. We don't know that
we don't know for sure.
But we hear.
The reviews are all over the place.
Everywhere.
Some people love it and some people not so sure, right?
Which is not really outside the realm of a typical Ardbeg anyway.
Yeah.
Because people either love it or they hate it.
No.
Most people don't like a lot of people don't like sort of peaty, very smoky scotches. So Ardbeg is out of the running right away. This one, though, we don't know. We just don't really know.
No. That's yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah. So it's bottled at 49.4%. It was aged for 13 years, non-chill filtered, and definitely no color added.
No color added. No.
It's in a green bottle, and
that makes me even more believe that
maybe it's got a green tinge to it when it hits the glass.
Who knows? It's minty and menthol.
Instead of a nice kind of color like that. I don't know.
I'm not expecting dark amber, that's for sure.
No, it looks pretty light in there.
It does. So it looks very light, actually.
Yeah.
So interesting thing about committee releases too. So committee releases, when they come out, usually cask strength, and they usually are distributed among a very small number of recipients, comparative to the actual run, the actual production run. So this one will not have any further production. After this, it's done. 8,000 bottles.
No more.
Done. That's it.
Yeah.
Scorch, for example, which was the previous release,
yes,
it did actually go into a fuller production, and we actually keep a bottle of the production release in inventory as well. So.
And that was a very interesting one.
And that was an incredibly interesting one. That one, the committee release version and the production version are remarkably different. Although that's when they're side by side. But separated, the committee release was on its own an incredibly good, really, really, really different scotch. The production scotch is also very unique, very, very different, but nowhere near what the committee release was. So
Ardbeg is known then because general distilleries on Islay are use peat, smoky.
Yep.
Where was I going with this? Is this going to be like mint smoke?
Yeah, this is the question, right? We don't know. A lot of people have said it's not. A lot of reviews that we've read has said it's not very complex. But which
and
I would
yet
find
others have this large list of all of these things, leather, tobacco, and
cardamom,
diesel fuel,
anise, aniseed, diesel oil, pencil shaving, cigar ash, prepared meats, and even antiseptic lozenge. So I mean, there are you have that many different impressions of flavors. It's hard to imagine it not being complex. But yet others say it's not complex. So again, comments below, please. Interested in finding out what you think of this particular particular spirit.
Perfect.
Excellent. We're going to talk more about this as time goes on too, because this will be part of an ongoing saga. Do we or don't we, keep it? Do we open it? What happens to it? So
it'll be interesting.
This one will make an appearance again on the show, guaranteed. Most definitely.
It will. All right. We'll
Excellent.
move on to the next.
When we come back, another Scotch.
Sorry. There we go. Man. We really do need a sound engineer here to make sure that we have everything going.
If you'd like to make a donation or like to see more of these shows, $5 would help with our ongoing production costs. We do need a sound engineer. We have a lovely production assistant so far. And we're growing our staff as time goes on. And
the first run through of this show, I forgot to hit the record button. So this is the second version.
So this is take 2.
This is take 2. And so in take 2, the one we actually have in our glass, because we didn't sample the Ardbeg.
No, we
This
didn't.
is a Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, natural color, unchilled filter. And again, it's an Islay single malt Scotch. But this one is not peaty. Not
peaty at all, no.
Like the tasting notes from Bunnahabhain say that there's just a very hint of smoke.
Certainly in contrast to Ardbeg or Lefroy or any of those others, not even close. It's not even on the same scale.
No, because I don't pick it up at all.
I can sort of detect a slight hint of peaty, but I wouldn't certainly say it stands out. It wouldn't leap out.
Not at all.
Certainly in a first nose, definitely not in the palate.
No.
But it's layered in there. Kind of like popcorn with butter. When you go to the movies and you get popcorn, you layer it with butter and layer it in. So there's layers of things in this, which I love.
I get vanilla. I get that bourbon cask.
Lots of vanilla is really prominent here.
Caramel.
But I find it's like it's almost like a toasted vanilla. It's not like and that's where I kind of get that smokiness. Is that it's almost like the vanilla's toasted. It's not really like the barley was toasted. Or smoked. Slightly citrusy too. And I want to point out too that this guy, and we've sipped this a couple of times
because I forgot to hit the record button.
Because this is take 2. Now it's not just 2 old guys talking about booze; it's 2 old drunk guys talking about booze.
But and as a side note, this runs about between $70 and $80 Canadian, right? So it's a very reasonably priced.
Fair
kind
price.
of a middle of the road, right?
Definitely.
For a single malt.
I wouldn't hold this back on entertaining for sure. I would love to share this with friends because I think it's very, very accessible. Yeah. I don't think it's out of anybody's price range, and I really think that it's something that's got a lot of distinction to it.
Yeah.
We've tried many scotches in the past, and I quite like this. I like the character of this. It's got
it's got that floral note.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. It's very floral in the nose, which I really like. It's also, I'm noticing that this is very what I would call a summer scotch. in that it tends to feel warm in the throat rather than down below.
Yeah, and it does very
below
much
the
so
heart.
in there.
Yeah,
But it's very creamy. It's very,
almost
I don't want to say smooth, but it is. It's got that creamy kind of a little bit of an oily
in the finish.
Yeah,
yes.
in the finish.
Yeah, it's there, and it's quite.
and not diesel fuel or anything like that.
Oh, no,
it's a nice oily. Yeah.
In fact, I can't say that there's anything really offensive.
No.
In contrast to an Ardbeg, which is full of antiseptic lotions and fisherman's
cigar
friends
ash
and cigar ash,
pencil shavings.
Pencil shavings.
No, I don't. There's no pencil shavings going on here.
No. This
is
is
very
refined.
pleasant. Yeah.
This is actually very refined, and this is a lovely sipper. I can see inviting friends over and before dinner, a dram or two, possibly three, because it's so damn good, of this right before dinner, and then with dinner, this has got to be followed by red meat. This has to be this screams for a porterhouse on a barbecue.
Yes, wouldn't that be lovely?
Right, medium rare. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very, very nice, Randy. I love this Scotch. Thank you for bringing this today.
No, you bet. But it's so it's, you get that ex-bourbon, like that bourbon on it, the sherry notes, right? Because it's been matured in bourbon casks.
Both, right?
And
sherry and bourbon.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the order is with that too. We'll discuss that later on another show. Is what happens when it goes into those barrels. Why does it go into those barrels? What causes the master distiller to say, hey, that should go in a sherry cask?
And when does it go in?
And when does it go in? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do they start out in new oak, or do they start out in
charred
bourbon barrels?
Yeah.
And then move for, however many years into a sherry cask or something?
What happens?
Yeah.
It's all a big mystery. We're going to rip the cloak off that mystery.
Yeah, we're going to try it out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyways, if you're looking for a nice Scotch to serve to your friends, this one will do just fine.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And this one actually will cover a lot of bases too. And I think this is something else, is that if you've got a guy that, it's an all-rounder. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter if you like a peaty Scotch, because it does have a little bit of that. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit more on the fruity side, because it's got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of, it's got a lot of things. So great all-rounder. This is one that I would definitely keep in the cabinet, for sure.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
will, in fact, be putting it
in the cabinet.
Also age stated too as 12-year. And again, it's an important thing. It's nice to know how old the Scotch is that you're drinking. Sometimes when we see a Scotch that doesn't have an age statement, we wonder where does it come from? Why doesn't it have an age statement? What is it filling in for that the distillery doesn't have?
Why aren't they putting an age statement on it, right?
Exactly.
This one says natural color, unchill filtered. So that tells us something about what we're drinking, right?
Exactly.
So there isn't any kind of a caramel color put into that. This is the color.
This is the color it
from
comes
the casks.
And this because of the color being so amber-like, it does lead me to believe that it might most likely be finished in the sherry. A little drop of water.
Yep.
Let's see what happens when we add water to Scotch, or any whiskey for that matter. What it does is it breaks the surface tension, and that allows all of the inner bouquet to come out. And it seems almost counterintuitive. It seems like you're going to dilute it slightly, but you don't. And in fact, what you do is you open the Scotch. You open it up, like a flower and petals opening up, and you get that whole floral bouquet.
Yeah, I get more fruit aroma on it.
So more of those orchard fruits.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a lot different. And just a drop of
Yeah, just a few drops. Still no cigar ash. I can't see that being a real selling feature in a drink, but
so on exhale, I do get that. I do very, very, very much note that the oakiness of the bourbon cask.
Yes.
Very much so. The color belies the sherry, but the exhale, there's no mistaking the bourbon cask.
And there is some spiciness there.
Oh, on the tongue.
Yeah.
Very much so. The lingering end of the finish, the what I call the front end of the finish, is very spicy.
Yeah.
Peppery, almost. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And it leaves that in the middle tongue. It leaves that sort of that lingering pepperiness on the tongue at the finish too.
So just that little bit of water, just a few drops in there,
changes everything.
Changes it.
Yeah. It actually makes it far more dimensional than it was when it was straight poured from the bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you have it, folks.
Yeah. We like it.
Bunnahabhain.
Bunnahabhain. Yeah.
Bunnahabhain.
Yeah. Bunnahabhain or Bunnahabhain? Tell us in the notes down below in the comments. Is it Bunnahabhain or Bunnahabhain?
Which I believe in either pronunciation is Gaelic for darn good whiskey. There you are.
I think so. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you like what we're doing, subscribe. So hit that subscribe button and hit the like button.
And if you don't want to see Randy doing 2 and 3 takes, help us get a sound engineer.
Help us get a sound engineer. Yeah. Or send us a note saying hit the record button.
Hit the record button before we start. Yeah, don't forget to hit the record button, guys.
Yes.
And if you happen to be in Alberta, if you happen to be in Canada, if you happen to be in Alberta and you happen to find yourself near Calgary, please stop down to High River. Please come to the Daily Mail. You will find more incredible services and certainly an incredible selection of Scotch and bourbon, rums, gins, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
Scotch, bourbon, we're all there.
Absolutely. Cheers.